video, a probiotic supplement that can improve GFR by 40.4%, and a tea recipe that can repair kidney damage, and also what I consider the biggest breakthrough in the science of the gut-kidney axis. Catherine here, I'm a doctor of natural medicine, and what I want to share with you today is how to turn your gut into your third kidney. Yes, there are some huge scientific breakthroughs we need to talk about today. Because here's the thing, the amount of research that has been popping out about the gut-kidney axis lately is incredible. I mean, it's so incredible, in fact, that even your doctor might hear about it in, another 10 to 15 years. Right after they finally fix their fax machine.
This thing never works.
Because if science keeps moving at this pace, we will find ways to use your gut as a dialysis machine before we even have dialysis machines that won't put you in a coma for the rest of the day. It's true. Happy gut, happy kidneys, says science. And today I will show you that using the gut to repair the kidneys is not just theory. It's something every single patient should actually do. Let's see how immediately, starting with our tea recipe that repairs the kidneys. While several tea recipes have kidney protecting benefits, only this one will be able to give new life to the probiotics in your gut. This is my very own kombucha recipe, guys. And let me tell you, this is going to really make a difference for your gut health. Now, when I say kombucha, many people will immediately think about the pretentious tea those hipsters, or whatever they are called now, drink in those fancy bars. But my kombucha recipe is different. This fermented tea recipe is not pretentious at all. You can make it at home with some simple ingredients, and this is a tea that won't waste any time and get the job done. In fact, this recipe is going to be full of some incredibly effective probiotic strains you can only get from kombucha. But how do we make this tea at home, you ask? The recipe is super simple. There are only 4 ingredients: tea, a common prebiotic powder, inulin, the SCOBY, and sugar. You should see the recipe on screen right now. And yeah, there is sugar, so let's talk about the elephant in the room. Sugar, the villain in every health story. Second only to the insurance company executive who decides your life-saving procedure is not medically necessary. And here's the thing, while insurance company executives are as needed as a solar-powered flashlight, you cannot make kombucha without sugar because the probiotics in the SCOBY will need sugar to ferment. There is no kombucha without sugar, but if you follow my recipe, well, you will only be using the bare minimum amount of sugar possible to make it work. And here's the thing, when the bacteria are done fermenting, most of the sugar will be gone anyway, and you will be left with one of the best dietary sources of probiotics you can find, which is also completely homemade. If that sounds good to you, here's how to make it. First, use all the tea bags to make about 14 cups of black tea. Add the sugar and tea to the water and allow the tea to steep and the sugar to dissolve. Allow the water to come to room temperature and add the additional room temperature water to the large continuous brew jar. When the water is at room temperature, add the SCOBY. The SCOBY can be bought for cheap on Amazon.com. I'm talking about $7 to $10, and you will be able to brew gallons of kombucha with just one SCOBY. But remember, never add the SCOBY to hot water. These are live bacteria we are talking about. They won't help anymore once they are cooked. Apart from that, the recipe is super easy. Let's add both in this jar and close it with a clean towel, possibly made from organic material. Let's store it in a dark, cool place for 7 to 10 days. Yes, that's what it takes to turn tea into one of the healthiest beverages on earth. At this point, the kombucha is already drinkable, but we still want to do the second fermentation. It takes place during the bottling process. In a glass bottle, add the freshly made kombucha and 2 tablespoons of inulin. Seal the lid and let the jars sit at room temperature for 3 days at least. But if you really want all that sugar to be gone, aim for 10 days instead. Place the jars in the fridge and enjoy one of the healthiest beverages on earth. You will know if you have a good and strong probiotic-packed kombucha if you start to see a new SCOBY form in your bottles after the second fermentation. Now guys, probiotics are incredibly important for the kidneys, no doubt about it. But not everyone will have the time to make this recipe at home. This is why in the next part of the video, I will also share with you a huge breakthrough in the world of probiotic supplements. We are talking about a 40.4% improvement in kidney function here. I mean, with an improvement like that, most CKD patients will be able to go back one full CKD stage. But before we get to it, a very important question needs an answer. Does gut health really make a difference for someone in the advanced stages of CKD? And the answer is yes. Science is very clear on this. Today, we are way past the point in which scientists are trying to prove how important improving your gut health is. Actually, right now in 2025, scientists are literally handing out PDFs and flyers to doctors and dietitians to tell them what to actually do about it. This is why I want to be very clear on this. It's time to take action. If you are not taking a renal probiotic every day and if you are not supplementing acacia fiber already, well guys, your kidneys are not going to be happy about that. And I mean, it's probably not even your fault. Your doctor has probably been living under a rock for the last 10 years if they never mention anything about the gut-kidney axis. But hey, it's your kidneys, right? So it's time to put a stop to this because here's the thing. Almost every single intervention that has shown to improve kidney health does that by reducing the toxins made by your gut. I'm not even exaggerating. So let's do a brief recap of what everyone should be doing every day in order to make sure their gut is working for their kidneys and not against them. Don't skip this part because if you want fast and easy results, well, this is what you should be doing. So I wanted to put together a table to summarize this stuff for you guys. But guess what? This is so well documented now that I was even able to find an already made table in a scientific paper published on the diagnostic. Yeah, for once I didn't have to do the grunt work. So thank you, Kenji Tsui LL, I guess. Anyway, here's what you need to do immediately. These are all the interventions you need to do to make your gut actually help for once and not just complain all day about not getting enough dessert. Here's how to do it. First of all, and I think I said this at least 1,000,000 times in my career, follow a low-protein, plant-based diet. Avoid red meat, eat a ton of fiber every day. That's literally the very first thing that was on this table, alright? Because you see, the low-protein diet, it cuts the toxins your gut makes. And eating more fiber from all those plant-based foods you are now eating will nourish the bacteria that actually fight this toxin production. So first step is, as always, the low-protein, plant-based diet. Second step is probiotics. As research points out, probiotics such as lactobacillus and bifidobacterium can significantly reduce the amount of toxins produced by the metabolism of protein in the gut, while also directly helping gut health. Now, when it comes to probiotics, consider both fermented foods items such as the kombucha recipe we just prepared and taking a good renal probiotic supplement. Speaking of which, my very own Renabiotic is a renal probiotic supplement made with the needs of CKD patients in mind. Renabiotic includes specialized strains that are known to reduce the production of renal toxins, and it's not just that. While every single renal probiotic on the market includes FODMAPs such as inulin that can irritate the gut of people with sensitivity, Renabiotic is different because what's even the point of a probiotic supplement if those that are having acute issues cannot take it? A gut supplement that upsets your gut is like a lifeguard who throws you an anvil. That's why I've created Renabiotic, the first probiotic supplement in the world that's made for CKD patients, and that's also low FODMAP, making it perfectly safe for those with gut sensitivity issues. And yeah, I believe this can really make a difference. And of course, the next treatment to consider is adding more prebiotics, aka fiber. You probably already know how important it is to have lots of fiber in your diet. The amount of fiber you eat is directly correlated to the amount of good bacteria in your gut. And this is interesting. One of the most studied types of fiber is resistant starch. There are multiple clinical trials showing benefits in lowering uremic toxins, include those super scary indoxyl sulfate and picrasyl sulfate with resistant starch. This is a type of carbohydrate that the body can use for energy. Instead, it functions similarly to soluble, fermentable fiber, super healthy for the gut. Some ways to get more of this healthy fiber include eating green bananas if you don't have a potassium restriction, and also to cook and cool your brown rice. Yeah, if you cook large batches of rice for the entire week, you are not just saving time, you are also making your rice healthier. And probably the most effective way of adding resistant starch to the diet is preparing overnight oats. So yeah, start the day with some healthy oatmeal and your gut will be happy. Now, as we can see from this table, even some of the most effective medications for CKD, such as Farxiga, which is incredibly effective at reducing proteinuria, works also because it helps cutting gut toxins. So yeah, it's not just complementary medicine that's targeting the gut-kidney axis. Even conventional medicine is focusing on that, because here's the thing, guys. There is no improving your kidney function without improving your gut health first. So here's the takeaway. If you are confused about what really works for kidney health, if you don't know where to start from, always do these three things first. Low protein diet, probiotics, and add a ton of fiber to your diet. Follow this advice and you'll be well on your way to better health, a happier gut, and a profound sense of disappointment that your doctor didn't tell you this 5 years ago. Now, I make a lot of videos about how to get you started on these 3 kidney saving treatments and make sure your kidneys are protected, because here's the thing. While here in Italy, the renal diet is widely used as a tool to prevent CKD patients from ending up in dialysis, doctors from many other countries, well, they don't really care. It's almost like they're all too busy trying to figure out the fax machine
This thing never works.
and complaining about the terrible golf swing to worry about silly little things like preventative nutrition. But you see, following a renal diet is the cornerstone of the CKD treatment. And for some patients, putting together a diet that works for diabetes, for CKD, and for any other complication they might have is not easy. That's something a healthcare professional should do for you. And that's why I offer one-on-one consultations. My goal, help you get the results you want quick. I do that by making sure nothing in your treatment regime is left to chance. In fact, with each first consultation, I offer a tailored renal diet which is based on your labs, your symptoms, and your stage of CKD. This is a science-backed approach that's actually proved to be working with real patients. So if you want to know more about talking with me one-on-one, or if you are ready to start improving, send me an email at catherine@newhopeforkidneypatients.com or click the link in description. Okay guys, let's take a look at something I've never talked about here on Double Kidney, and that will be very interesting for some of my followers. There is a recent study about 2 renal probiotic supplements I wanted to show you. In this study, they compared these supplements in 60 stage 3 and 4 CKD patients for 6 months. Here's the interesting part. The initial GFR of all the 60 patients was on average 32, which is a lot closer to stage 4 than to stage 3A. This is basically where things start to get very rough. So in this trial, they divided the patients in 2 groups. One group received a pretty well-known renal probiotic you can find in the American market. The other group received a renal probiotic called Lobun Forte. And the results of this trial were incredible, literally. As you can see, both groups had a huge improvement in their kidney function. We are talking unbelievable numbers here. The group that received 2 pills a day of the well-known US brand improved their kidney function by 36.9%. And the other group, the group that received 2 pills a day of Lobun Forte, they improved their kidney function by 40.4%. Now guys, this means basically going back 1 full stage from borderline stage 4 to sitting comfortably in stage 3A. And I mean with just 2 pills a day. By the way, while I have seen this kind of improvement even in my patients in some cases, getting back a 40% of your kidney function is usually something that can be achieved only with a combined intervention. We are talking starting a renal diet, getting more targeted medications, and various supplements. But in this paper, the participants only got the probiotics, nothing else. Now, if that sounds a little too good to be true, well, this study comes with a couple of limitations. First of all, there was no placebo group, which is fine, I guess, because we all know what happens to CKD stage 4 patients. And also, the study was financed by the corporation that makes Lobun Forte. And that's important because it's clear that they had all the interest in making the study work. However, it's common for pharmaceutical companies to pay for the studies featuring their products, so I don't necessarily see this as a bad thing. So where to find this probiotic, you ask? Well, Lobun Forte is extremely easy to find if you live in India. So for all my followers from India, consider this supplement. It's pricey, but I believe it's a good formulation. And if you want to know more about what really makes a difference for your kidney health, my video up here is for you. And this is all for today. Thank you for watching. God bless you all. Bye.